want us to solve quadratic equations. So the first step you have to always remember that you're looking for product. Product is equals to A multiplied by C. What is A? The coefficient of x squared. C is the constant term. Looking above, our product is 45. Sum is equal to B. What is B? The coefficient of x, which is equal to 14. Look for two numbers. You multiply them, you get 45. You add them, you get 14. What are the two numbers? 9 and 5. 9 times 5, 45. 9 plus 5, 14. Use these two factors to expand the coefficient of x. Now you have x squared plus 9x plus 5x plus 45 is equal to 0. Once you get this, then factorize them. The first two, the second two. What is common here? X is common. X into x plus 9 plus 5 is common. 5 into x plus 9 is equal to 0. Once I have this bracket and this one, they have the same component. Therefore, I'll say x plus 5 is equal to 0, this first bracket, or x plus 9 is equal to 0. Therefore, now I'm saying the solution for the first one, x is equal to -5, or when positive 9 crosses equal sign, x is equal to -9. Those are the solution for the two questions. So that is it. I believe you can go through it. The second equation. First of all, you have to ensure that our equation takes the approach ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Therefore, I return this 14 on the left-hand side of the equation and now write it as x squared minus 5x minus 14 is equal to 0. Then what next? Product a times c, which is equal to -14. Sum b, which is equal to -5. I look for two factors. When I multiply these two factors, I get -14, and when I add them, I get a sum of -5. What are the two factors? -7 and +2. You see, -7 times +2, -14. -7 plus 2, -7 plus 2, I'll get -5. While -7 times 2, I get -14. So those are the two factors. Then what next? I use these two factors to expand the coefficient of x. Therefore now, I have x squared minus 7x. I have x squared minus 7x plus 2x minus 14 is equal to 0. I factorize the first two, and I also factorize the first two. What is common here? X is common into x minus 7. That is the first bracket. The second bracket, what is common? Plus 2. 2 is common into 2 into 2x is x. 2 into 14 is 7, negative. Now, this component and this one are the same. Therefore, I'll write the first one and I equate it to 0. X plus 2, close, open, x minus 7. Everything is equal to 0. Then I equate each bracket to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0, or x take away 7 is equal to 0. Now, what happens? I'm looking for the roots of x. Therefore, when these two crosses equal sign, since it is positive, it becomes negative. Or when this 7 crosses equal sign, since it is negative, it becomes positive. Those two gives us the solution for the values of x. I hope you are able to follow through that. How to solve quadratic equation. Remember, in my previous video, I had talked about how to solve a difference of two squares. Difference of two squares. What if you have been told to solve this kind of an equation? What if you are solving this kind of an equation? How do you solve it? This one here, which is 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. So this is question 3. Question 3 is there. 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. What do we do first? We look for the product. For this particular case, what is our product? Our product is equal to A multiplied by C, which is equal to 2 times -5. Our product is -10. Our sum is the coefficient of x, which is -3. Look for two numbers. You add them, you get -3. You multiply them, you get -10. The two factors are -5 and 2. -5 times 2, I'll get -10. -5 plus 2, I'll get -3. Therefore, they agree. Now, I'll use these two factors to expand the coefficient of x, to expand this bit. And therefore, now my new equation will look like 2x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, here, we factorize the first two, we factorize the second two. What is common here? What is common here is x. X into 2x, x into 2x squared is 2x minus 5. X into 5x is 5. Plus, what is common here is 1. Since no number is common in what? Where there is 2x and 5. So we talk of a common factor being 1. Therefore, now we shall say into bracket 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. So that is where we are. Then now we go ahead to try and solve that. Now, moving there, then we are saying that this one here, we can do away with this. I hope you follow through that and understand it. It is very clear. Now, what do? We look at this and say, then we carry this and bring it. This and this, they have the same component in this particular bracket and this particular bracket. Therefore, we take x plus 1, open and close the bracket, open bracket 2x plus 5. I pick one of the two brackets since they are the same and leave one of the brackets. Then I equate this bracket to 0 by saying x plus 1 is equal to 0, or 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. I solve for the value of x in the first equation. X will be equal to -1. When this x crosses equal sign, I get that. The second root of x, or the second value of x, I have 2x is equal to -5. When this +5 crosses equal sign, to come this side, it becomes negative. I divide through by 2 to get the value of x. Therefore, I'll say the two values of x are now x is equal to -1 or x is equal to -5 out of 2. So those are my solutions to that particular question. There is another type of a quadratic equation of this nature, question 4, whereby now I say I have x squared minus 36 is equal to 0. This is what we call a difference of two squares. If I have a difference of two squares that I'm being told to solve, I'll first of all want to show you how do I factorize this. A squared minus b squared is equal to is this one here. It can then be factorized as this one. It can then be factorized as this is a perfect square, this is a perfect square. So this one will be the square root of a squared is a. The square root of b squared is b. One bracket. The second bracket, the same component, a and b. Then I just interchange the signs. So if I have x squared a perfect square, that's 6 a perfect square, then I'm saying this one will be solved as the square root x minus 6 bracket x plus 6 bracket. The square root of that 6 is 6. The square root of x squared is x. Then now is equal to 0. I equate each of them to 0. X minus 6 is equal to 0, or we are saying x plus 6 is equal to 0. What next? We now solve for the value of x. Negative x crossing equal sign for equation 1, x is equal to +6, or +6 crossing equal sign, x is equal to -6. This two becomes the solution. So that is how you solve a difference of two squares. So it will either appear this way, or I can as well give you another example that resembles this, and it will look like this. I hope you are able to capture that. Whereby now we are saying that example 5 or question 5 of solving quadratic equation, 4x squared minus, let's say 64 is equal to 0. Looking at this again, number 5 is also another example of what you're calling a quadratic expression, but then talking about a difference of two squares. 4 is a perfect square, x squared is a perfect square, 64 is a perfect square. Therefore, I'll say the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of x squared is what? is x. Subtract the square root of 64 is 8. Close and open the bracket. Open 2x, but now plus 8 is equal to 0. So same. Then now what do? We now go ahead and solve for the value of x. So for the first one, 2x take away 8 is equal to 0. Or we are saying 2x plus 8 is equal to 0. We now solve. Therefore, I have 2x is equal to positive 8 because this is negative, out of 2, out of 2. So for the first one, x is equal to positive 4. Here 1, here 4. Or for the second one, we are saying 2x is equal to negative 8. Therefore, out of 2, out of 2. What do we have? X is equal to negative 4. So those are the solution. And that is how you can be able to solve what? Quadratic equation. I hope you follow through and they are very clear for you to go through as a student.